essentially what the president is saying happened here. He had a high velocity bullet from an AR-15 style weapon shoot directly at his head, missed penetrating his skull, but actually impacting the surrounding tissues, in this case his ear. That's what we're being told. That's serious, Alex. I come from a military background, right? That predisposes in some cases to a traumatic brain injury. Over time, we may not see initial symptoms up front. There could have been signs of bleeding that maybe were not present on that initial CT scan that apparently was normal per whatever report we got, that summary report. There's a lot of potential impacts here that can impact his functioning if he's the next president, to his balance, to his hearing, again, that can manifest over time. So this is a big deal. Tangential gunshot wound. If this was indeed a bullet injury to the ear, this is a big deal. Tangential gunshot wounds, we see them again all the time in the armed forces. They can have secondary impacts.
Are there particular things you'd want to know about his treatment, either immediately after the assassination attempt or now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, Eric Trump has said that there's no stitches needed. That's a big deal, because the implication then, Alex, is, well, gosh, they were able to control the bleeding from an impact that somehow took off a part of his ear. We're saying from an AR-15 style weapon. The kinetic impact to the body from that type of bullet, from an AR-15 style weapon, is massive. So if that was really a bullet injury, it should cause significant soft tissue damage. I want to say it would be helpful for the American public to understand what was the degree of injury. Were they able to control the bleeding without stitches, just to confirm what Eric Trump is saying? What was that process like? Did they use things like Dermabond or Steri-strips to help? It would be helpful to understand the extent of injury, absolutely. And then did they do a cranial full neurologic exam? Is his hearing and his balance, are they intact? We don't know.
Do you have, I do want to ask, just because the president talked at length about it. He said the ears are the bloodiest part of the body. There was a large volume of blood. He made note of that last night. Is that true?
No, I heard the same thing. I was watching as well. And, I don't know what anatomy textbook him and his docs are using, but that struck me as a bit nonsensical. You can say the lips or above the eyes, frankly, are more vascular. Certainly the heart is the most vascular part of the body. So if that were to bleed, that'd be quite bloody. It was a random comment. It's not rooted in any actual evidence, but from a surface wound standpoint, any facial injury, the scalp, highly vascular, lips, of course, that's frankly more bloody. So, it was a random comment.
That was Dr. Vin Gupta on MSNBC asking all of the questions that the American people have been wondering about. And I'm certain you have, and I certainly have, in the aftermath of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. We haven't gotten a real medical report of what the aftermath has been. We don't know how it has impacted Donald Trump, aside from the fact that he has a gigantic bandage on his ear. There has been no information and seemingly no inquiry. And so I'm glad that someone has started asking questions, because we need to. I see so much of the mainstream media right now being fearful to present the same lines of questioning about whether it be Donald Trump's medical aftermath or his current medical condition, or even just his dangerous agenda and what his campaign would seek to do if he won the presidency, which we are, of course, not going to let him do. We are going to defeat him at the ballot box. But the mainstream media seems to be asleep at the wheel right now when it comes to Donald Trump. And so I'm glad some questions are finally being asked about what could be a dangerous state that he's in right now. And we don't know, because there has been no medical report. And we absolutely need to see one. We need to know the truth about what Donald Trump's condition is currently. And someone who has kind of taken that matter into their own hands, who wants to talk about the mental condition of Donald Trump, because all the media wants to do is debate about what is President Biden's mental condition over and over and over again, when all he is doing right now is having historic success as president. But for some reason, they feel they need to continue to debate his mental acuity when we see the clear cognitive decline of Donald Trump. But someone who has taken this matter into their own hands is George Conway, and he had this to say in just an incredible clip. Let's check it out.
And once I started reading about personality disorders, in particular narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, pathological narcissism and sociopathy, everything became clear. And that's the reason why I concluded several years ago that he was an absolute danger to the republic, as shown on ultimately shown on January 6th. And so that's what we're trying to do, is we want to level the playing field on the mental states of the two candidates. Both of them are old. Both of them misstate words. Last night, Donald Trump called his vice presidential nominee J.P. Mandel. Okay, I mean, imagine if Joe Biden had done that. So the whole point is, I mean, he's a narcissist. These are the DSM-5 criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. I don't go through these. There's a Jimmy Kimmel monologue on our website and our website that goes through these, and it's pretty funny. That's the reason why he spoke for several hours last night. It's because, he's full of himself. But here's the real issue. He is also a sociopath. Okay? And what's a sociopath? This is the DSM definition. A pervasive pattern of disregard and violation of the rights of others, and you have to have 3 or more of the following. This isn't hard. You don't have to be a shrink. Failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors. He's a convicted felon. Deceitfulness. How many lies did he tell last night? 30,000 lies on during his administration. Impulsivity. Hey, let's talk about Hannibal Lecter. Let's buy Greenland. Impulsivity. Irritability and aggressiveness, and including assaults. He raped a woman. He's found by a jury to rape a woman. He sexually assaulted many others. Reckless disregard for the safety of the others. Let's say, the January 6th, let the guys through with the magnetometers with the guns. And I can go all the way through it. He's 9 for 9. Well, he's a sick man. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing. And I think he's had an advantage over these last couple of years that people have been seeing him. And now that they're going to see him, they're going to see the guy's a nut job. And we got to get rid of this double standard, and we have to start talking about this, and that's the point of psychopact.org.
George Conway is just spot on, and I am so glad he has started an organization to talk about what is so important in this race, and that is character, who a person is, and not only who they are now, but who they've always been. Donald Trump isn't changing, and he hasn't changed. As much as he and his staff and the Republican Party want to talk about unity, that's all they're doing. It's just talk. It's nothing more than that. Donald Trump hasn't changed. He's the same pathological liar, pathological narcissist, and that needs to be known. And so I'm glad that George Conway is taking this into his own hands and going into battle, calling out who Donald Trump has always been and who he is currently. And that is someone too dangerous and too unfit to be president. And if you agree that we need to continue to take matters into our own hand, if the mainstream media is going to fall asleep at the wheel and not ask the questions that they need to, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, you join this channel, you join the movement that we're building of people willing to call out Donald Trump, willing to call out the MAGA movement, and push forward to make sure our democracy is protected. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, drop a blue heart in the comments to let me know that you stuck around to the end and that you enjoyed this video. Your support, all of y'all, it means so much to me. We have grown so quickly, and I am so proud of what this movement is becoming. It is just incredible to witness, and it's all because of y'all. And until next time, I will see you soon.